Yo, what is up, everybody? We are back for episode 4 of Pound the Rock. I'm Tyler LaRocca. This is Trey LaRocca. How you doing, Trey? How are things?
Good. Steelers won a good game. We're partying hard, and I'm fucking tired. But
there you go.
It's been a good football week, and I think it'll be another one.
I completely agree. So let's get hopping off here. We're going to start with the 49ers are undefeated. No matter what the injuries, no matter what's being thrown at them this year, this team has zero quit. Robert Saleh was officially the best free agent signing in the NFL. They won a grueler where they sadly lost Nick Bosa. We're going to kind of go over a little bit of everything to do with the Niners, but I mean, this team just doesn't have any quit. This team is dangerous because they're not even healthy and they're beating teams. What did you think from that Cardinals game? That Cardinals game was a bit of a slugfest.
I mean, it was a bit of a fucking stinker was what it was. Okay, dude, both teams looked bad. The Cardinals, I mean, my fantasy team is feeling Marvin Harrison Jr.'s inability to catch a fucking football. They lost James Conner for the year. That's also really bad for them because he scores a lot of their touchdowns routinely every year. So that's going to be tough. Finding, a short yardage answer of the quality of James Conner is going to be really hard. He's been a top 5, goal line running back for basically since he entered the league.
Yeah.
So that's going to be tough for them. I think both the teams looked kind of rough. Defensively, I think they both looked okay. I think Niners definitely looked good on defense. Cardinals looked fine on defense. I think the Niners offense was more the issue there. But their front played well. Calais Campbell having his Aaron Rodgers year, just going crazy at 39 years old. It was pretty impressive to me, but that could be just a function of the Niners line. But I mean, yeah, like you said, if the Niners are racking up wins with these injuries, once they're healthy, I mean, signs point to them being a reasonable team. I still don't think that they're going to be like a big playoff threat or anything this year, but, we'll see who goes down next and who is able to actually play and what they look like when they do. I think a lot of it will hinge on how good BA and Kittle look when they're back.
Yeah,
if they look good, then I think you're right. The Niners could be pretty dangerous.
So you kind of transitioned us right into it. I mean, the bigger story about the Niners this year isn't even their record. I mean, that's super impressive. Everyone's talking about how impressive it is with the amount of injuries they are. Like you said, BA. So John Lynch, I don't know if you heard about this. He went on a radio show today and said, in his words, BA was not close to returning.
Oof.
Which is very weird. The Niners are known as pathological liars about players when they are injured. And it's super strange because BA has been videoed sprinting, cutting, running routes on the field, and looking really, really good on the field. And a lot of people that are there have been saying nothing but BA should be back. BA's own family and BA himself has said that he thinks he's going to be back soon.
So reflexively, when someone's out for the season, they have to say they're back in a week, and then when someone's back in a week, they have to say they're out.
Yeah, so it's really confusing what's going on because all signs and videos point to, wow, BA looks like he's going to be back like week 6, week 7, like they thought. And then John Lynch says he's not close. So I want to see what you guys think because like Niners fans always know like the Niners are just like weird about injuries. What do you think is like an outsider, like when you hear that, but then you see videos of BA cutting, running routes, and sprinting just fine?
I mean, I don't see it as that abnormal. I saw a lot of videos of Roman running routes, and obviously it didn't look like BA does, but he looked decent, and we still held him back for the year. I think with BA, obviously he's not going to get pulled for the entire season. But what I think Lynch is thinking what you're thinking, which is we've got a pretty soft schedule. We have a particularly soft stretch at the beginning of the year. Maybe we see if we think we can get to like 7-2 by the middle of the season without BA. Let's give him a few extra games. Let's not set the expectation we're going to throw him in. And we can always throw him in if we lose 2 in a row and it's clear that we need to shake things up. I think it's a preservation of a playoff weapon. That's the way I see it. I see him saying, if we can make playoffs, bringing BA in week 12 or 13, let's bring BA in week 12 or 13 as opposed to throw him in week 6, week 7, and potentially have him get hurt before the playoffs again.
And I can see that. The hardest part of our schedule is the next 3 weeks. So it's Jacksonville, then we play in LA, and then we go to Tampa.
Tampa game is going to be tough.
Yeah,
Tampa and LA will be tough.
These are the hardest. This is the hardest 3-game stretch in our schedule. After that, it's Falcons, Texans, Giants, then Rams at home, Cardinals, Panthers, Browns, Titans.
So, I mean, I think if you guys even win one of the next 3 games,
I completely agree with you.
You're 4-2. Let's keep BA out until he's like really, really good. You know?
Yeah. So that is a good point. That could definitely be it. I think. Yeah, it's just weird. Maybe that's what it is. He doesn't, or maybe he doesn't want to say or put that pressure on BA. We know BA from off-season stuff. He seems to be a bit sensitive. Seems a bit sensitive. But luckily for us in the Niners, we have plenty more to talk about. Brock Purdy is apparently, it's still up in the air. Mac Jones may play, Purdy may play. Nobody really knows. That could be a strategic thing for the Niners.
What was Mac's specific injury?
So it's a PCL injury. It's what kept him out in the first part of camp. And he re-aggravated it. But again, this is another question I have to pose to you. Me and Grant talked about this quite a bit. Do you think it's a bad look that our backup is playing and winning games hurt, but our $53 million a year quarterback isn't playing hurt, isn't toughing it out for the team?
Yeah, I mean, it's
because keep in mind, it is a strain. Like everyone keeps saying, well, it could be Joe Burrow's. It isn't Joe Burrow's turf toe. It is a strain.
And here's my issue with it. And you guys did hint at this. I watched your guys' take on it. And I think it was smart. Say again, this is the Niners trying to preserve playoff weapons. What does it say about the Niners that they think they can win enough games with Brock off the field? I get thinking you can win enough games with a receiver off the field. Thinking you can win enough games with Brock off the field, that's not a $50 million quarterback. Either he's not worth the $50 million, or you aren't a team that needs to pay $50 million. One end of that deal doesn't make sense if you think that Mac Jones on a bum knee is good enough versus Brock on a bum toe. Because listen, I get it. You got to push off the toe to throw and blah, blah, blah. Behind your guys' line, your tackles are playing well, but your interior isn't. So the odds of Mac needing to kind of get out of the pocket are high. He's going to need his knee as bad as Brock's going to need his toe. And yet you still consider it's still a question. I feel like every team in the league would have.
If Josh Allen had a grade 1 turf toe, you think he's sitting?
I don't think we even hear about it. I don't even think a trainer is allowed to open his mouth. I think Josh Allen would literally go into an interview on Pat McAfee the next day and be like, I don't know what they're talking about. I'm fine. I feel great.
Here's a better comparison. Do you think if Jared Goff had grade 1 turf toe, he'd sit out? Or do you think Jared Goff plays?
Jared Goff plays. I mean, Jared Goff's got heart. He's a dog, dude. That's one thing is Jared Goff outperforms his own talent because he's a dog.
And that is, it is why I didn't want them to sign him, period. I just didn't think it was worth it. I like the Baker Mayfield. Again, Baker Mayfield, do you think, I mean, we already know the answer. You think he plays with a grade 1 turf toe?
I mean, I've told you, and you know this is a big evolution for me because I hated Baker for a long time. I didn't hate him, but like I thought he was a bum. I thought he was overhyped and kind of shit. Baker's Big Ben. Baker is Big Ben Roethlisberger reincarnated. And unfortunately, he got off to too slow a start to where his career stats I don't think are going to get to where Big Ben's are. But Baker right now looks very similar to Big Ben with a little bit less talent, I'd say. So, yeah, again, he's another guy where he'd be on an injury report and in an interview, they'd be like, what's the injury like? And he'd be like, what injury? I don't know what you're talking about. I feel great. I'm ready to go.
Michael said Matthew Stafford literally snapped his arm back in its place and played with a broken arm. I think you're talking about his shoulder that he popped back in place, but
Yep.
yes, same difference.
And
yeah.
I don't hold everybody to those standards, because when you talk about the Big Bens, the Phillip Rivers, the Matt Staffords, those guys, even other quarterbacks of their era, were like, you guys are fucking crazy. Don't do that. Those were just dogs. Those were just guys who, weren't on good enough teams for a lot of their careers to be playing those games. I think those are guys who always played like, this could be my last shot at a Super Bowl. Matt Stafford was doing it when he had no shot.
Yeah.
So that's not typical. But yeah, like turf toe, I don't think we even heard about turf toe with quarterbacks 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Because they were
and turf toe is a rough end. Like it's definitely more painful than the name.
Yeah.
But dude, it's a grade 1 sprain.
Yeah.
Every quarterback that's getting paid the money Brock Purdy is getting paid plays on a sprain.
I mean, Cam Newton played on a Liz Frank injury, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
And that's way worse even than like a high grade turf toe. Liz Frank can end a career, you know? So it's like guys are built different.
So let's go again to another 49er injury. We got 2 more to talk about, then we're going to move on to Steelers. But number 1, Juwan Jennings is still not practicing. Trey, you don't actually know this comparison that well. Basically, I was talking to a buddy. This reminds me of a Dennis Schroeder situation. Dennis Schroeder was a great role player on the Lakers. He got a massive contract offer, 4-year, $84 million, said no to it, and has been a journeyman making vet min ever since. I have said that Juwan Jennings is the NFL equivalent to that. He notably turned down a 4-year, $48 million contract and has not been able to get on the field other than one game where he dropped
took playtime incentives as his raise too. So this is not looking great for him. I mean, I don't really have an opinion on it. He's clearly hurt because, like I said, he got playtime incentives. So if he could be on the field, I think he would be.
How do you think this sets up for his next contract?
I mean, I think he unfortunately, he's gonna be Juju. Like I said, that's my comp for Juwan. I think he's like a slightly less good Juju. Now I think he's better than Juju because Juju's had a lot of injuries, but like he's also earlier in his career. I think he's gonna be Juju. I think he's gonna probably continue to bounce around on 1-2 year deals on teams that win a lot of games but need secure hands for third down. And that's a cool place to be for some guys, but I mean, you're just banking on the Chiefs wanting you essentially at that point, or another big, crazy good team to get you a ring. Juju is able to do it. He's got a ring, but
so you think he should have taken his 4-year, $48 million?
I mean, 1,000%. I think if there are few teams where a wide receiver can justify taking a pay cut.
Yeah.
As long as Kyle Shanahan is the coach of the 49ers, the 49ers are one of those teams. You take a pay cut to stay on the 49ers as long as you can.
All right. And now the big one, the most depressing one for 49er fans, Nicholas John Bosa tore his ACL, unfortunately. Our amazing medical staff said there was no tear. Nick John Bosa, being the doctor that he is, said, no, I'm pretty sure it is my ACL gone. They went in for MRIs and confirmed Dr. Bosa's diagnosis over our medical team, probably showing why our injuries are so significant. But now the Niners are on the hunt. There have been a myriad of rumors. The biggest 2 are obviously Trey Hendrickson from the Bengals because Joe Burrow is hurt and out for the season. They have nothing left to play for. And then you have the Giants with Kayvon Thibodeau. This is obviously, we've talked about it. This is obviously my preferred. I think he's 6 years younger than Trey Hendrickson. He's still on a rookie deal. You can cut him loose for free, just like Trey Hendrickson at the end of this season. You can extend him for significantly cheaper than Trey Hendrickson if he plays well. Yeah, what are you kind of thinking? I mean, obviously the Nick Bosa thing that's rough, but the Niners players don't seem too concerned, which is an amazing thing to see from a team like that. But yeah, what do you think?
I mean, it sucks. It sucks all around. Thibodeau, I think Thibodeau's the move. Trey Hendrickson makes no sense because you're going to have to trade decent capital to get him, probably like a second and a third. Yep. Then you're not going to be able to sign him next year if you want to keep Nick. But if you want to trade Nick, you have just set the ceiling on what teams will take for him because the last feature edge rusher trade that was done was your trade. So you're guaranteeing you will not get back as much as you gave. because teams are not going to want to do a worse deal than the one you just got. Especially since, I guess you could argue Nick could get the same deal because he's cheaper.
Yeah, Nick technically will be on a discount at this
you're not
point.
going to have to. But I think all of that gets negated by the fact that he's torn his ACL 3 times.
Yeah.
So it's tough. Hendrickson, like in hindsight, might have been a good guy to go get instead of paying Nick, because at
2
the
years
time,
ago.
at the time that they paid Nick, Trey hadn't had his big year yet and probably would have been kind of a bargain. And the Bengals might have even been willing to let him go for some not that bad capital. Now you're cooked. So I say get Tibbs, see whether you want to keep him or Bryce Huff at the end of the year. And you just kind of have to, in my opinion, keep it rolling with Nick. He's lost too much sell value. You just wouldn't be selling him high enough.
And so that's a good question. So me and Grant posed this question last night on the podcast. I kind of want to get your opinion. Me and Grant are of the opinion that, well, one, we should have traded him 2 years ago instead of paying. I was a big proponent of that. I wanted them to trade up in the draft, get one of the Texans' top 3 picks, and get Will Anderson. They obviously didn't do that. Now they regret it. Do you think, regardless, they should trade Nick at this point for cap relief? Because at best, he probably has, let's be honest, with 3 ACL tears, he probably has maybe 1 or 2 years of elite production left at most, if that.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Do you think they should trade him and get some cap relief and, trade for a guy like Thibodeau that has that high ceiling? And that way you could keep someone cheaper like Bryce Huff and Thibodeau and still roll with Mike.
I mean, if you ask me, I think you should trade him because I don't think the Niners have a Super Bowl window anymore. But the Niners seem to be determined to believe that they have a Super Bowl window in this next year or two. And if I'm the Niners, then you can't trade Nick Bosa. You're going to get a better deal than anybody else by keeping him. But if you can accept you're probably not a win now team, you're a win soon team, then I think you definitely can let him go, because he's not age compatible with your team's core anymore. And I think it's better to get young talent in that in a couple years, your core of your team is a bunch of 25 to 28-year-old studs who, if you do win in 3 years after trading Nick Bosa and getting young talent, if you win a Super Bowl, you can come back and win another one. You can come back and win another one, because your core are guys that are in their prime and aren't going to be out of it for a few years. Whereas if you win a Super Bowl in 3 years on Nick's last good year and you didn't get any young talent back to do it, one, you're probably not winning that Super Bowl anyway. Two, you're not going to be able to win it again next year because Nick's not going to have it in the tank anymore.
And so here's my thing with that. I think even if you are, say, looking at it as a win now situation, right? Nick's hurt. And I think it's very obvious by looking at the offense. Like, yes, we have a lot of injuries. Yes, we're going to have to see what the offense does when people come back and are healthier. And, but I think here's my thing, right, is I think this defense can win now. Robert Saleh they've been dominant. The biggest problem is the offense/offensive line, if you really, really want to blame something. I think Purdy needs more talent around him, because I don't think Purdy's going to be able to elevate the talent he has.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that talent's going to end up having to be offensive line. They're going to have to keep him clean. So my thing is, even if you do view them as a win now team, right? Say they make a run. Say they make an NFC championship this year. And they make a run and they're like, damn, we can win. In my opinion, I'd still trade Nick, because I would be willing to bet a lot of money that losing that NFC championship game would not be a defensive issue. It would be an offensive problem.
Yeah.
And so you trade Nick for some sort of cap relief to get some guards or a center or a running back.
I see what you're saying. Bryce Huff, from what Michael Williams has looked like so far, it's only been 3 weeks. Bryce Huff and Michael seems like a decent pass rush unit.
Yeah.
If you just
I'm throwing in Thibodeau in my theory here.
I guess if you could trade Nick right now and someone would give you like a couple twos for him, and you turn those couple twos into like a Tyreek Hill, or another win now type guy where you can push that money and capital onto the offense, I think you might have some options. Tyreek Hill's a bad example. I don't think Brock has the arm for Tyreek Hill, but
Here was
Yeah,
another. Here was
maybe.
another
You guys
thing.
need a future answer at running back, like really bad
Yeah.
right now.
So
And it
here's
needs
my
to be a
thing.
young, cheap guy.
Here's my thing, right? So I said this on Grant's podcast yesterday. I'm curious what you think again.
I know what you're going to say.
I think
Really.
an elite running back is more important to Kyle than an elite quarterback.
Oh, I agree with that. I think your logical conclusion I already know, and I think
What?
it just can't happen.
Oh, no.
Bijan.
In a dream world, yes. I
Okay.
would love, like, say the Falcons are like 1-9 and Bijan's like, bro, I'm sick of it. I'm ready to go.
Sure.
Yes, at that point, I think if one team should sell the farm for him, it should be the Niners. They are the ones that utilize a player like him more than anyone in the league.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not even saying like that. That obviously is a dream scenario. But I mean, meaning like next year in the draft, be a little bit more aggressive. Yeah. What are the Lions doing with Jahmyr Gibbs? Like, I think they
Breece Hall looks like he's going to be gettable.
I think they really need to be aggressive for an elite running back because I think that's most important to Kyle's offense. I don't think it's quarterback.
I agree. I mean, I 1,000% agree. I think he can make wide receivers look good. By making wide receivers look good, you're necessarily making your quarterback look pretty good. What the Niners run on offense and defense is just tempo. And that they're like the Nate Diaz of the NFL, where they just keep raining little shots on you. Every time you think you've got them off the field, they dish it out to CMC and get a first. They dish it to Juwan and get a first. Like they're not home run hitters. They're money ballers. They just keep chipping away base after base after base, you know?
Except for when Mac Jones is on the field and it's 4th and 2. That is the first time I've seen Kyle call a go ball on 4th down, I think, ever on the 49ers.
Well, and I think part of that is because no one would ever expect you to let Mac Jones do that. So I think I don't think it's him saying Mac Jones is the GOAT. Really, all of Niners' problems go back to that draft, though. You guys just should have not traded up and grabbed Justin Fields instead. But I
mean, they shouldn't have traded up and just all trolling aside, they should have just grabbed Mac. They should have just sat there.
Justin Fields. Justin Fields is fucking good, man.
It's a Kyle thing. It's not a Fields thing. But anyways, we've talked enough Niners. This isn't just a Niners podcast. Let's go to the next. The Steelers. Now, while they are 2-1, they are this is the easy part of their schedule. The Steelers' schedule gets significantly harder from here. They are playing the Vikings in Dublin, which those Dublin games just suck balls for every team. Then they play the Browns, which the Browns are hard. They're not an easy team. Then you got the Bengals, but after that, you got Packers.
If you look at the Steelers' history with the Browns, it's an easy game. After
that, you got Packers, Colts, Chargers. Then you have 2-week bye weeks. Then you have Bills, Ravens. Their schedule, they have kind of struggled in their soft games. They're really going to have to turn it up a lot of notches, especially coming into this game against the Vikings. The Vikings just dismantled the Bengals. My thing with the Steelers has always been their defense is solid, their offense is not. And it's kind of that week 1, we were really hopeful because it was like, damn, their offense is looking good and their defense isn't. And since then, it's kind of gone back to regular Steelers stuff. So what are you seeing? What are you wanting?
Well,
what's going on?
I want to deconstruct that because it's based on a lot of misconceptions. Here's one that you said. I'm going to have one misconception you just said and one that people are saying that is also wrong. We're back to basic Steelers stuff. You know who's number 2 in red zone percentage in the NFL right now?
Mm-hmm.
The Steelers. That is not... Oh, you lost connection. The Steelers are number 2 in red zone percentage right now. That is not typical Steelers stuff. That was literally the biggest problem of our offense the past 4 or 5 seasons is we could not finish in the red zone. We could not get touchdowns in the red zone. Now we are the second best team in the NFL at getting touchdowns in the red zone. I believe Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback is number 1 in red zone touchdowns. So that's a huge deal for us. Our defense waking up finally was a huge deal for us. We got 5 turnovers, and this is the other misconception I want to attack. People were like, "Yeah, if the Patriots didn't give you 5 turnovers, then you wouldn't have won. And I'm like, why don't you watch those turnovers? Patriots maybe gave us 1.
Mhm.
The rest, we train our guys to punch shit out. There's reports now saying Mike Tomlin showed a compilation of the Patriots fumbling to set the tone for, you guys need to rip the ball away from these fuckers. They will give it to you if you punch it out. We were focused on punching out the ball. We punched out the ball. Our defense came up. The first week was an anomalous week. I told you immediately, I was like, our offense is going to come back to earth. This offense needs time to spin up like it just does. We have a lot of veterans on the team. We have a lot of new people on the team. It needs time to spin up, but we're correcting the problems that were fundamental that kept us from ever really improving last time, which is our red zone issues and our middle of the field issues. We're hitting the middle of the field more, not a ton more, but we are. And our red zone issues are getting solved. What I think we're going to start doing more is we are number 28, I think, in 13 personnel. In 11 personnel. We're number 2 in 12 personnel, and we're number 1 in 13 personnel. We need to start putting more wide receivers on the field for more of the game. Roman Wilson needs to play more than 10 to 20 snaps a game, or Brent Skowronek, or whoever we want to put in that 3 spot. We need more receivers on the field. I think we're going to put more receivers on the field. I think Aaron Rodgers has hinted at we need guys that can get open on the field. And our line is getting better and better every week. So we're going to run the ball better. Everything that was a fundamental issue of the Steelers offense last year does not exist in the same way this year. Our line is improving every game, not getting worse. Our red zone percentage is high, and we're hitting the middle of the field. We're going to be on an upward trajectory offensively. The defense woke up. I think they're going to stay in sync. I think we're going to keep that ball rolling, and I think we're going to be a good fucking team. Everything is moving in the direction that we needed to move. Anyone who's been watching the Steelers for a while knew it was not going to be instant, and that we were going to look bad even in the soft games at the beginning of the year, because that's what we do. We play down to bad teams, and we don't play that well at the beginning of the year. And that's what we've seen, but we're still 2-1 even in that stretch. And I think we're just going to look better and better. I do think that this Ireland game is going to surprise a lot of people. I think our offense is going to start firing. I think Aaron Rodgers is uniquely well suited to read that very confusing Brian Flores defense.
Yeah. My biggest issue with the Steelers is your run game is near non-existent, which makes it really hard when you don't have a lot of receiver talent. You guys have a lot of tight end talent. You guys don't have much receiver talent, which is, I think, the issue. I think DK is fine. The issue is DK struggles to get open, and DK doesn't have great hands at the catch point.
I mean, he's been proven that wrong this year.
I think that Calvin Austin's been good. I think Roman Wilson obviously is just not what they wanted him to be so far, at least.
I mean, I need to see him on the field. In preseason, he looked great. I just think he needs more reps on the field. I think it's an opportunity thing. And
so I think, I don't know. I have a feeling. Oh, yeah, we didn't even predict the Niners game this weekend. My feeling with the Steelers game this weekend, I predicted them to beat the Patriots. I'm probably, the way they've been going, I'm going to predict them to lose to the Vikings here. I just think their offense has looked very, very bad. And the Vikings defense has looked absolutely disgusting.
The Vikings defense has looked really good, but I think it's because it confuses a lot of quarterbacks, and they haven't played quarterbacks that are going to pick that apart and take advantage of it. I think
Aaron Rodgers hasn't picked anyone apart. That's the problem. He hasn't been picking people apart.
I mean, he put up 4 touchdowns, no turnovers in week 1. So he did.
Yeah, sure, against the Jets, but when he's playing good defenses, he's not really picking anything apart.
Well,
he's struggling against good defenses.
Against the Seahawks, I mean, he was throwing to open guys, but it's not like he had a chance to pick anyone apart against the Seahawks. The dude was getting beaten up. Like, I mean, he was just getting found.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like, he's not. Yeah, exactly. He's not able to pick people apart. He wasn't able to pick the Patriots apart.
I think that's going to get, again, I think it's the line's getting better, and he's going to have more opportunities to. He has the skill and the ability to pick the Flores defense apart is what I'm saying. Whether we can keep him clean so he gets to do that or put more receivers in the field. Like I said, I think we're going to put more receivers in the field as the season goes on. I think Tomlin has a veteran trust problem. And not saying he struggles to trust veterans. It's he always is trying to get as much age on the field as he can. I think he's putting too many tight ends on the field because he trusts our tight ends so much. And I think he needs to let Arthur Smith take the wheel and be like, okay, we can have a lot of tight ends on the field for a lot of the game. But the fact is, 11 personnel is popular for a reason. A lot of teams put 3 receivers on the field in scoring situations for a reason. Let them do it,
Yeah.
I mean, this game, I think we will.
I mean, I know you got faith in your boys. This is going to be my first. This is the first time I've predicted the Steelers lose. This is the first time I predicted either of our teams losing this season. And this is going to be it. I just think your offense is not going to be able to produce. I am excited to watch the game because I'll actually be able to watch it because I'm in Texas and it's not 4 a.m. for me or 6 a.m. for me. So, I'm going to I have to give it to the Vikings. I'm going to say it's like a 1-score Vikings win. What do you got? You got Steelers winning?
I don't think we're going to light up the Vikings defense. I think our defense is going to win us the turnover battle. I think Carson Wentz is a great guy to make that happen for us. I think putting some pressure on him and then having guys in spots to make plays like we have is going to be great. I think Derek Harmon is going to be good at stopping the run because Jordan Mason is very much just a one-cut, let it rip kind of guy. And I think all you need to stop a guy like that is a really stout D-line.
He's a physical bastard.
He
loves Jordan Mason.
But I don't think he's going to beat Derek Harmon in a fight. Our third stringer, too, his last name is really hard to pronounce. I'm not even going to try. The guy who we put in this last week, though, over Y.A. Black, he looked incredible at stopping the run, too. Nick Herbig looked incredible.
You guys could use, what's his name? You guys could use Jordan Mason right now.
Yes and no. I think we just need to fucking put Jaylen Warren on the field more and block better for him. I mean, Jaylen Warren, I think, is second or third in the league in yards after contact. He has more yards after contact than he has yards, I think, still. So I think Jaylen Warren is good at the same things Jordan Mason's good at. So I wouldn't say we need Jordan Mason. If anything, I'd say we would need like a Garenda. I think we would need a guy with just a sick speed because we keep using Gainwell out to receive balls, but it's just like he doesn't have burst to get around the corner. So if they read our screen, it's over. Whereas I think if you read a screen to Garendo, he can get around the edge if they're not quick enough on it.
He's a fast little bastard.
Yeah, you don't really have to commit to the run against the Steelers right now is one of the problems is because none of our guys are going to really punish you for half committing to the run.
Yeah. So, and then we got the Steelers one. What is your Niners prediction? Again, I'm going to go Niners. I said it last night. I'm going to go Niners in a defensive slugfest. I think Trevor Lawrence is bad, man.
I think the game will be a little higher scoring than you think it is, but I think the Niners win. Yeah, I'd probably say.
I have it at like a 19-17 type game. Yeah, that's kind of where I have it.
I can see it. I think you guys might win by at least over a field goal. I think you guys would cover if it was like a +3 or -3. Because the Jags offense just it's good in all the places that the Niners are good at stopping. You guys have a stout front seven. You have Fred Warner. Etienne's not going to be able to get 1,000 balls a game to, again, just inch them up the field. They're going to have to put balls downfield. And I think you guys will make T-Law panic and throw some slop. So I think the Niners will win that. But I do think Brian Thomas will play better this week. I think they're going to be successfully throwing to Brian Thomas a little bit more this game.
We'll have to see. I think as long as Lenore's on him, they're not even going to try.
Wait, is Ricky playing?
I'm pretty sure Ricky's playing this week.
Okay, that's what my prediction is hinging upon. I think the Jags could win if Ricky doesn't play. It's hard to win a game with no receivers.
Yeah, I agree. We got DeMarcus Robinson back, but I agree. I don't.
That's your rookie who looked really good in the preseason, right?
No, DeMarcus Robinson is the vet. He's a vet. He's been on the Rams. He's good. He's solid. And so now in big news, you got Jaxson Dart getting his first start against the Chargers. And here's something I wanted to talk about. I know everyone's like, oh, my God, why would you start him against the Chargers? Blah, blah, blah. You should have waited. I think that is the dumbest thing ever. Because here's my thing. He is going in knowing regardless, dog, you're fine. Losing. It's your team. Like you're fine. Russ is benched. Dable has already put that to bed. He said Jackson's the quarterback the rest of the season. Period. End of story. He can go in there and sure. I mean, he may get obliterated by the Chargers. I don't think it'll be that bad. I think Jaxson Dart is going to be fine. I think the Chargers defense is good for sure. It is phenomenal. But I don't think it's going to be like, it's not like a defense where it's like, oh my God, he's just going to throw like 4 picks and yada, yada, yada. They're just like physical. I think it's going to be harder for Neighbors and their running backs than it is for Jaxson Dart. I think he's going in there nice and free. He's going to be able to just play some ball. What do you think? What do you think about this? I know you have love for Russ, but also some hatred for him.
Yeah, my love for Russ is dwindling for sure. After what he did to me last year, it wasn't his fault. It was Mike Tomlin. I think Dable is making the right decision where Tomlin made the wrong one. I think Dable is in a better position. A lot of people are saying no, let him sit behind someone and develop a little more. I get that if it was like a mainstay team like the Packers with Jordan Love. It's like that team's good. So if you look bad on the Packers, people are going to think you're shit.
Yeah.
I have the opposite. I'm with you. I have the opposite viewpoint. Put him in against the Chargers. Because if he has a rough first game, it's the Giants against the fucking Chargers.
Yeah.
What quarterback was going to win you that game? Josh Allen probably couldn't make that shit happen. So it's like, that's not true. Love you, Josh. But it's like, I think you got to know your guy. And Jordan Love is very much your classic hardworking quarterback prospect who was quiet, wanted to put in the work, and he needed someone who was going to take him through the proper steps to emerge in the system. Jaxson Dart is this new age talent that's a little bit more like who's a fucking good example? Josh Allen, actually, a great example, where it's like these guys run a little bit more on the coach that's just going to back them. The coach that's just going to believe in them. I think to a certain extent, you need to do a little bit of what the quarterback wants for themselves. And I don't think quarterbacks now as often want to be the Jordan Love where they slowly emerge into the system. I think Jaxson Dart reads to me as a guy who's like, let me make my mistakes out there. Just tell me you trust me and I'm going to let it rip. Right?
Yeah, he's a confidence guy. I watched him a lot in college. That was kind of the biggest gripe is he's very roller coastery. When he's feeling good, the dude is lethal. He looks disgusting. Yep. And then when he's feeling bad and getting like down on himself a little bit, he doesn't look very good. And this is another thing. If he didn't have a Malik Neighbors, I would say, yeah, maybe sit him. Dog, half the time, all he's got to do is, all right, I'm just going to throw it to Malik and we'll see what happens.
Well, I think they're seeing that. They're seeing how Scat's been playing. Like,
even Jaxson Dart said it in his press conference. He's like, dude, like, it's easy to be confident when I have someone like Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just like Cam Scatabo, too. Cam Scatabo looks like a hard-nosed fucker. Like, he looks like a guy who, if I'm designing a playbook for Jaxson, I have Scatabo on some angles. I have him on some delay curls, like chip somebody and then be a curl. Just sit right in front of Jaxson Dart's face. You toss it to him. He'll break a tackle, get you 4 yards.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do to make an offense for Jaxson Dart that'll succeed, in my opinion, with that team. Their line's decent. Their line looks better than I thought it would. They have, like you said, Malik Neighbors downfield, and then Scatabo seems like a guy where he can have his back to the defense, catch a ball and turn around and still be ready to break a tackle.
He's just a baller, man. He just likes to play football. Yeah, I think people are worried about Jaxson Dart for the wrong reasons. Yeah. I think he's going to be fine. I think, sure, it's the Chargers. I
picked him up in fantasy because I think he could be more than fine. I mean, you get him a couple confidence-building games where put up.
I think this could even be a game where the Chargers get it taken off of them, where they just charger it. I think if I'm Jaxson, he even said, I have no pressure. If I'm Jaxson Dart of the Giants, I'm like, why would we feel pressure? We are 0-3. They are 3-0 in the best division in football.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares? Let's just go and play and see what happens.
And all in-division games, too.
Yeah.
So it's like, they just don't – the Giants don't have a lot to lose here.
Exactly. And I think those are the most those are the best games to throw Jaxson Dart in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad we're on the same page for that one, because I thought that was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
And I love Dart. I love Dart. I love that this whole QB class seemed to be full of guys with good attitudes, man.
Yeah. I like Jaxson Dart, man.
Class.
He's got so much swag.
other than
Love it.
Shadur, who seemed a little, all the other guys, Dylan Gabriel, Tyler Show, Jackson Dart, Will Howard, they all are just these guys who are like, I just want to play some fucking football, man. That's it.
I like it. Yep. And now, I mean, this matchup, Ravens versus Chiefs, we have it this weekend. This matchup was supposed to be like a battle of AFC Titans, and it's more like a battle of AFC disappointments.
Yeah.
You have the Ravens, who quite literally could not hold a fourth quarter lead if you put a Nerf gun to their head in game. And you have the Chiefs, who just look so disgustingly average.
Yeah, I mean they're losing their receivers left and right, which doesn't help. So maybe Marlon Humphreys will be able to, guard a third stringer, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Yeah. I mean, I said it at the very beginning, the Ravens will underperform their talent on defense. They're not going to be a top defense. They never are, because they underperform their talent on defense all the time, especially in big games. And the AFC North has a lot of big games this year. We have tough schedules. So that being said, I think the Chiefs are just a little too hurt to get it done.
I have the Ravens winning this.
Yeah,
I think if the Ravens lose this, you're going to have some serious conversations going on about.
Yeah, I hope the Ravens lose. Tell you what, my Steelers division leader prediction is going to look really, really good if the Ravens lose this. But I think the Ravens will edge it out. I think it'll be a pretty good game too. I think these teams will probably start returning to form here a little bit, in my opinion. I don't think they're going to look this bad all year, but yeah, I think it'll be a nice mid-20s for each team. Good, mostly defensive game, but with some really nice big plays to make it a fun one to watch, at least.
I mean, and here's my thing for the Chiefs. And this is the sign of a very, very bad running the football team.
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes is their leading rusher. And he's their leading rusher by a healthy margin, right? Isaiah Pacheco has 92 yards. Kareem Hunt has 80. And Patrick Mahomes has 125.
Which is nuts, because that's a great tandem, talent-wise, too.
Yeah. And Travis Kelce has not been good for a couple years now. And it comes down to this. There isn't a player or quarterback in the NFL that can win with zero talent.
Yeah.
They took advantage of Patrick Mahomes' skill for way too long. They neglected the offense for way too long. And I know they got Rashee Rice. Even at Rashee Rice's peak, I don't think he's necessarily something crazy. I think he's just getting the ball thrown to him by Patrick Mahomes.
He's I see him as a Zay Flowers. He's talented. He's very physically talented, but
I think Zay's better. I would even put Zay on a tier above.
Zay's definitely shown more, but he's had more time to show it.
Yeah.
So I don't
and so I think that's the issue with the Chiefs. And honestly, Patrick Mahomes' stats have kind of taken a nosedive since he lost Tyreek Hill. And they won, I think, one Super Bowl without him, maybe two. I think it was one. I'm not sure. They won a Super Bowl without him, so it kind of got swept under the rug, they didn't even need Tyreek. When I think we're starting to see that he kind of does need a Tyreek. He's very not good at structured offense. You're starting to see that again start creeping back up. He's not very good in a structured offense. He needs someone to help him when a play's broken, and he likes to break plays. He's like Caleb Williams, but a little bit smarter.
Okay.
He is. It's just down. They both love to break plays. They don't like playing in structure, and I'm not saying Caleb Williams.
Okay, in that specific way.
Gotcha. Yes, I'm saying he's like Caleb Williams, and they both can't play in structure. Patrick Mahomes is significantly more accurate than Caleb Williams. It's not even close.
And a better arm.
I would say their arms are pretty comparable. But and that's the thing, is that's what Travis Kelce was so good at, was finding open space, just being open where Pat needed him to be. And he's not really a threat enough to do that anymore. He's slower now. He's pretty slow. It's not really crispy anymore. He's just old. And I think if I was the Chiefs, I would really, really try and take a big swing for a big receiver.
Well, I thought you were
Like,
going to say try to move Kelsey.
no, I
Like,
don't think they will.
no,
But
I don't think they will either. Just because I think they just want he's gonna retire a chief. He just kind of has to. It's just one of those things
yeah,
where that guy has to retire a chief. But like, if we're playing outside of that world, I think we can acknowledge like just numerically that would probably be the best decision. But
oh, for sure. Like, I think if you're trying to win, like, and you're like, what could we get back and try and move to get something great crazy? Yeah, I would agree. I think Kelsey's the play. I don't think he's that good. And yes, obviously they're dealing with injured receivers, but they grabbed injury prone receivers. Like
yeah,
Hollywood Brown getting hurt is like the sky
not a
being blue
surprise. Yeah,
tomorrow. Like, it's like, okay, like, sure, if you were counting on him being healthy, that's why everyone's gotten rid of him. Xavier Worthy is like 160 pounds. So
yeah.
again, you're counting on him being healthy. I don't know why.
And then they grabbed Sky Moore as well before he's on the Niners now. But when they did grab him, he literally was actively injured.
Yeah, and then you have Juju, who again is just always hurt.
Yeah.
Like, so counting on these guys' health is also just like I don't know what you're thinking. So yeah, I mean, I think we both have the Ravens. I think the Chiefs. I have a feeling the Chiefs will go on some sort of a run and sneak into the playoffs. We did our restructuring of their division, and we both have the Chargers winning it now.
Yeah, my thing about it too that I think could potentially cause some issues is just Spags, and I feel like for a good DC, Lamar is not a hard quarterback to figure out. I think. You saw it last game. They finally did the thing. They were like, oh, yeah, wait, stop trying to sack him. Stop trying to sack him. Break the pocket down, but hold him in it. If you're going to sack him directly behind the center. Do not
pocket passer.
Push him outside of it. And what does he do? He runs in a straight line backward, gets sacked like for more than 10 yards 2 times, and just does not know what to do when he can't. If he's between the hashes, he loses like 30 IQ points. He can, and that's the thing is like people will see him dissect the defense and throw like a really nice ball from the sideline. But when he's between the hashes, it's like he panics. If it's not that he can't do it, it's that he has this wall where he believes that he can't throw from the pocket.
A lot of quarterbacks are very bad at Peyton Manning and Tom Brady were talking about this. Whenever they were about to snap the ball, they knew who they were targeting. And if that guy was somehow covered, they knew the second guy they were throwing to before the ball snapped.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of quarterbacks, and I'll even say, I think a lot of the top quarterbacks, I think Patrick Mahomes suffers from this. I think Lamar Jackson suffers from this. I think Josh Allen, to an extent, suffers from this.
I was going to say, he probably suffers from it the least. I think Josh Allen.
Yes, I think he suffers from it the least, but I think a lot of players suffer from this that are some of the best quarterbacks nowadays. And I think that is the biggest problem with like a team like the Chiefs and a team like the Ravens is, Ravens, we've seen it in the playoffs every year, dude. Just hold Lamar in the pocket and force him to play quarterback. And you've heard it from DCs. What are you going to do to stop Lamar? We're just going to have to force him to play quarterback.
And not just that, too, because, like, again, I don't want to be rude. I think he has proven he is not Lamar B1. Like, he can throw the ball. But he panics if you hold him in the pocket. If he knows there's no way out, it's like he literally has a panic attack. Because other than that, there's no excuse to run straight back the way he does. He should step up in the pocket every time in those situations. And 70% of the time, he runs straight backward.
He runs straight forward into the sack.
Yeah, someone needs to slap him and say, hey, the defense doesn't get easier to read from farther away. You're not going to save a play by running backward, ever.
Yeah.
If you know you can't get out to the right or left, running backward does nothing for you. If you can get out to the right or left, yeah, run backward, give yourself some space to beat the edge. But if your tackles failed and they're setting the edge on you, you need to step up. This is a thing that Brock fucking Purdy was able to get a lot of success with in his first year. Was he just knew pocket goes like this, I go up and keep my eyes on the field. That's it. But Lamar was just like, he needs to feel like he can scramble. And once he starts getting spied, and he's even said, you can see how frustrated he was in that interview. He's like, yeah, the spies grab my legs, like they were doing something unfair. But it's just like, no, they just figured you out. They waited to see if you would try to run before they tried to hit you.
Yep.
Because they knew the moment they try to hit you and they fail, you're gone. So instead, they're only going to try to hit you once they know you're going to run.
Yep.
And that's what the Steelers have done too.
Yep. And yeah, so I mean, I think this will be very interesting seeing one of these teams end up 1-3. That's crazy. Did not think that would be the situation coming into this game. We have Thursday night football predictions. It is a division game, so it makes it a little more exciting, even though it's the Seahawks versus the Cardinals. I think people are like going crazy about this. I've seen Seahawks fans start talking nonsense because they beat the Steelers and the Saints.
Well, I think it was how they beat the Saints that got them super high.
Yeah, but yeah, so I'm curious who you got. What do you think is going to happen? I mean, this is a big game for them, big divisional one.
I mean, now I without their main scoring weapon, I think the Cardinals are going to find their way to the bottom of that division because Connor is such an important part of their offense. Like he keeps so many drives alive for them. Because he's just so good at like you need 3 or less yards, you're going to get him kind of thing. I think the Seahawks are going to beat him up pretty good. I think the Cardinals, without the players that they've lost, with Marvin Harrison playing the way he's playing, are a worse team than the Saints, who the Seahawks just beat up. If Marvin Harrison can start playing like he did last year, which was pretty good, then I think, they could have a shot. But I think the Seahawks, just top to bottom, are a better team.
Yeah, I would say I don't think it's going to be a beatdown because Sam Darnold's still there.
Yeah.
So I probably have it like a 1-score, maybe a field goal differential to the Seahawks, Sea Chickens.
I mean, I think they could win by like 10 points.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't trust Sam Darnold, man. I just think he's not that good.
Fair enough.
And yeah, man, I think, we'll leave it there. There's not a ton to talk about with the Cardinals and the Seahawks. Kind of looking at everything, to have a little bit of a topic. I mean, the big kind of key points here are, let's kind of do this because we've had a lot of discussions about teams. And I think this is kind of a fun topic. Which head coach do you think is going to get fired first? Because I've been seeing a lot of stuff so far, and who do you think's going first? Who's your first firing of the season?
I'll start by saying I don't think the Saints fire their coach first because I think he's at least they've at least found an answer at quarterback.
I think
it's safe to say
is safe this year. I think you would have to be kind of nuts if you're in the Saints organization. You thought you were going to be good this year.
Yeah.
I know my answer.
I'm going to say, damn, it's tough.
I'll give you mine while you think.
Yeah.
It's either Mike McDaniels from the Dolphins or it's Raheem Morris from the Falcons. I think Mike McDaniels is absolutely atrocious. He's lost his entire locker room. Tua talks like an obnoxious, spoiled child that has never been held accountable in his life. And I think that is a reflection of the coach. I think Tyreek's going to end up wanting out. I think they have way too much talent to be 0-3. They are a way better team than that. I don't care how bad their secondary is supposed to be. They have lost these games purely off of awful offensive production. And so, I think Mike McDaniels is probably cooked. I know their owner came out and said, we're going to be patient with him. Patient what? They've been bad since he's gotten there, especially against above 500 teams. Darren Waller ain't healthy. Jalen Waddle ain't healthy, so I think they're just going to be worse.
Yeah.
And then Raheem Morris. I think Raheem Morris is either the first or second worst head coach in the NFL. I saw him call out Kirk Cousins today and just be a douchebag for no reason towards Kirk.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he basically said, well, Kirk lost his job last year, so this isn't our concern. Mike is nowhere near Kirk level, which, in my opinion, is so disrespectful to say about a quarterback for no apparent reason. They have been bad. Their defense has been the only time their defense was good was against JJ McCarthy, who I think we all know is just bad. They have a horrible offense. They're wasting Bijan Robinson in Drake London's career. And I just think he's bad, top to bottom. So those are my two coaches I think are going to go quick.
So you had one of the ones that I was thinking of. I didn't even think about Raheem Morris. He probably should have been in mine. The ones I was thinking in between were Mike McDaniel and Brian Daboll.
Daboll's a good one. Yeah.
Since you've already given the reasons for the other two, I'll just give my reasons for Daboll. Had a good year once. Had a rough year after that. Had an even rougher year after that. I think there's a potential that Jaxson Dart maybe saves him, but starting 0-3 after getting all the talent that they've acquired in that division that is just leaking talent left and right, like every team in that division, in my opinion.
Jane Daniels is hurt.
Yeah, every single team in that division. Well, I'm more thinking in the offseason. Every single team in that division lost talent in the offseason. They all got worse. Other than the Giants.
Commanders got Debo, dude.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I think the Commanders probably lost the least amount of talent, but they didn't have as much to begin with.
Yeah.
But the teams that matter, like they lost talent. The Giants are the only team that I think got better in the offseason. And they look the same. So I think depending on what Dart's able to do, Daboll was my number 2. I think I probably would have said
I like that
Mike McDaniel then Daboll. Now with Raheem, I'd probably have Raheem maybe above Daboll in it, but I don't know. I think Daboll. The issue with Daboll is he's been around as long as Mike McDaniel and not put up as many winning seasons. Yeah. So it's like that's my issue. Where Raheem, I could see them just giving him his full 3 years, whereas Daboll, I think it's year 4. This is year 4. I think. And they got him a lot of talent, Sid. So I think they're just sort of like, you need to move it or lose it, brother.
In my opinion, Daboll is getting way too much credit for Josh Allen than he should. And that's where he's getting his like long leash. I think he has proven to be a fine coach. I also don't want to let off the leash their GM. Dude, what is with you in edge rushers? You signed Brian Burns to an insane contract. You draft Kayvon Thibodeau, who's good. And then in this draft, I get it. Abdul Carter's a generational talent.
Abdul Carter, yeah.
But
what are you going to
do? Daboll's an offensive guy. What's he supposed to do? You also let go of Saquon. Yeah. You let go of Saquon. They just now have gotten an average offensive line. I think it's both. I think you got to get rid of the duo of Daboll and the GM because, dude,
the tie tends to go to the GM, you know?
Yeah, and I get it. They have built a disgusting top 3 defensive line in football.
Yeah.
Like Dexter Lawrence, Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns. Like they have built a disgusting pass rush. But outside of that, my God, this roster is just shit. Yeah. Like you have Malik Neighbors. That's it.
Yeah.
Like
Scatterbo is good too.
I mean, sure. Scatterbo's been fine. Like, you know, he has 100 yards. Like he's not been anything where it's like, oh yeah, it's a job saver, right? Sure. Like Jaxson Dart, I agree with you. I think Jaxson Dart is the make it or break it for these guys' jobs because if Jaxson Dart comes out and he falls flat, I agree with you. I think they might be cooked.
Yeah, because I guess the phrasing of the question matters and is probably the reason why I have Daboll so high on it. Is you said who gets fired first?
Yes.
And so I'm like, Daboll has had the most time of failure of all 3 of them. Whereas I could definitely see the Falcons moving off of Raheem at the end of the season. But I feel like they're at least going to let him do the season. Whereas like if I'm thinking of mid-season firing candidates, That's where I think Dable and Mike McDaniel, they've had so much time to do what they came to do, you know?
Here's my thing with the Giants. They play the Saints in 2 weeks. I think if they get an ass whooping, like I'm not talking like barely. I'm saying if they get their ass beat, I think Dable's fired after that game.
What a conflicting game. Both of our boys, Jaxson Dart and Spencer Rattler, going.
I think if they get their, and I'm saying if they get their ass beat, like they lose like 21-3, and like there's just nothing moving on that, I think he gets fired after that game.
Or if it comes to the point where you said it's 2 weeks, so they'd both be like 0-5, 0-6. If they go into that game 0-5, both teams.
Well, it'd be 0-4, so they'd lose to the Chargers. And then go into the Saints. Yeah.
If the Saints are 0-4 and they're 0-4, I don't even think they'd have to get their ass kicked. I think even if they win, they lose by like more than a touchdown. I think
the Saints will definitely be 0-4. They play the Bills, so they play the Bills this week. So
yeah, it sucks.
That's a rough go. The Saints are definitely going to be walking into that game 0-4.
Not an easy game for either of them coming
unless we see one of those crazy like kickoff blocked touchdown games, like
or
special
Rattler
teams
just goes
nuts.
Dicko mode.
Yeah. I mean, again, I hope the best for. I think they would be stupid to draft the quarterback this coming offseason. I think Rattler has been good. I think he should not be getting blamed for these losses. I think he's
been good.
I think he's the second best quarterback in their division behind Baker.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, man. I mean, do you have any topics you wanted to go over? Because I don't have any more here.
No, I think I'm good.
All right, everybody.
Let's do one. Let's do one. Actually, let's do one.
Okay,
I want you to think, because we've been having these conversations in fantasy a lot. One player who's been going off that's going to chill out. We can maybe even say fantasy wise, and one player who's been really quiet, who's going to clap back. They're going to come back.
Oh, that's a good one. Ooh, because I can take so many routes here. Okay. Yep. So I'm going to say, this is a good one. Damn. Do you have people in mind? Because if so,
I've
go.
got one.
Okay,
so,
you go.
Despite loving him, I think Keenan Allen's going to chill out. He's like number 6 in fantasy right now. I don't think he's going to be bad. I think he's going to fall back down to the middle of the pack because I think what's happening is Ladd was the bona fide number 1 and the ones were covering Ladd. And I think teams are going to start putting their ones on Keenan. And I think Keenan's numbers are going to quiet down quite a bit. I don't think he's going to suck.
Okay.
And then for people who have been just dead quiet that I think are gonna bust out, I think it's probably a tie between. It kind of already happened, so this is why I'm making it a tie. AJ Brown ain't gonna be that quiet.
Okay, that's a good one.
He kind of had his game, so that's cheating. Josh Jacobs is my other one. Josh Jacobs hasn't had he's had I think 1 really good game and then 2 stinkers. I think he's going to come back to being just a fucking menace all year. I don't think Jonathan Taylor is going to be. Jonathan Taylor would be my other candidate for calming the fuck down, probably. I think
really?
Yeah.
I was going to choose him, but I was like, I actually think they're going to stay pretty solid. I would
You're going to
say,
be good, but yeah, I think he's not going to put 40 fantasy points up a game again.
I would say my player that's going off that is going to come down is going to be Quentin Johnston. He is 6th in receiving yards. He is tied for 2nd in receiving touchdowns. I think Ladd McConkey or Keenan's actually going to take that spot from him.
Yeah, I do too. I think it'll be Ladd though. I think because they're going to put ones on Keenan.
So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go ahead and say Quentin Johnston, even though and because it's Quentin Johnston, that's kind of cheating. I'm going to say a player that's been going off. It's going to calm down. I'm going to say Jared Goff. Jared Goff is throwing at a 78% completion right now, 7 touchdowns to 1 pick. And he's 7th in passing yards. I don't think he's going to be able to maintain this absurd offensive production. I think he's going to start evening out. And now for the tough one, the person I think that is having a rough go of it, that's going to start popping up. Actually, you know what?
I said another candidate yesterday.
I think it's going to be... Oh, this is tough. This is a good one because it's a real thinker.
Ryan Thomas Jr. That was
No,
my
I don't
third.
think he's just not been playing football where it's giving me like
Sure.
the vibe that he's going to start popping. You know what? I'm going to go with Marvin Harrison Jr. I
Okay.
think Marvin Harrison Jr. has been quiet. He hasn't lived up to his hype. And I think he's going to start. I have faith in him to start being really, really good. I could also, my honorable mention is Mike Evans. He's pretty low right now.
Yeah, he got hurt though.
Yeah, so I'll go with Mike Evans too. But yeah, no, I like those picks. I'll say Marvin Harrison Jr. and then Jared Goff would be my picks here. That's a good segment.
Dope.
I like that.
So no hope in Brock to come back.
I mean,
and
is Brock like, is he on a downturn and gonna come up? He was hurt, But no,
I mean,
don't
that
have
first
hope for
game
Brock.
was kind of a stinker.
He's been bad for a year and a half. I don't think
That's
he's
true.
coming. I think this is who he is. I think, dude. So I was here. Actually, my caveat. I was gonna say Christian McCaffrey. If Christian McCaffrey does, I think that's when you'll see Brock's numbers go up. Obviously.
See, I just think I don't see him or Derek staying healthy all year. They're both being
The
used too much.
volume that Christian is getting, he's gonna have AB's CTE by December.
Yeah.
He's the first player to 50 receptions or something crazy like 50 receptions and carries
or
by
something.
game 3 or something.
It's nuts.
And I'm like,
yeah,
what's going on? So yeah, I was gonna say Christian to caveat that. Because that's the only way Brock's popping off, bro.
Yeah.
I would love to be wrong. Again, Niners fan. I would love to be wrong. I was also going to say DK Metcalf, but his hands are just trash.
Yeah, I would say he wouldn't count because his hands have actually been really good so far. He literally he caught his last touchdown. He caught with a cornerback's hand in his chest. The hand was here, and he caught the touchdown.
I didn't even look at defensive players. Why didn't we do that?
We can do defense as another one. I can't think of any that I think are going to chill out that are playing well. I think TJ is going to ramp up, but I don't think TJ's been playing bad. I just think teams haven't been going toward him. But I think Herbig presents a little bit better of a way to push teams.
I think Micah Parsons is going to start playing better. How about that? Is that a good one?
Kind of, because I mean he had a good first game, and then he had a not great.
Yeah, no, these are pretty. The defense is kind of hard because it's like, how do you kind of, I guess, quantify?
Yeah, because defense is such like each defensive player has like 5 or 6 games where they really pop off.
Yeah,
for the most part, and then they're quiet. But it's like an overarching thing. You know who's one of the best coverage cornerbacks in the league right now, by the way?
Diamador Lenore, I know.
No, Dante Jackson, the guy that we fucking let go of and who went to the Chargers. He is.
Yeah, the Panthers let go of him too.
Yeah,
damaged goods.
Sucks, man. He was good. I didn't.
You have to remember, it's a lot easier to play corner when Derwin James is behind you.
Well, it's that, and it's also like we got Jalen and Darius Slay, and I wouldn't pick him over either of them. So it's like,
oh, yeah. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you guys watching. Trey, I appreciate you being on the show per usual. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Enjoy the game tonight.
All righty. See ya.
Yep.